more can I say?
Top Billin.
Alright, Top Billin. I'd be remiss if I didn't do anything on my boy Brendan Radley-Hiles, who's one of my all-time favorite high school prospects. So my man Brendan did not have a good freshman season by any stretch of the imagination. He was ultimately benched, and he was collecting splinters in his ass by the end of the year, and had been moved all around the formation. I think they're having a tough time figuring out where to play this guy, right? So we see here he was a 4-star. At one point in time, I believe he was a 5-star. So he's listed at 5'10", 183 pounds right here. I've been next to this kid, man. He's more like a 5'9", maybe even a little shorter than that. But if we're being honest about it, this is what made Brendan Radley-Hiles a darn near legend in the high school prep ranks, all right? But before I show this right here, shout outs to Husker Online. I don't want any trouble. I don't want any copyright strikes or anything like that, bro. This should not impede you from doing whatever it is you're doing, because I'm only using a couple of plays from your video just to illustrate what Radley-Hiles was good at. So once again, no copyright strikes. I wave the white flag. I'm just entertaining the fans here, all right? So my man Radley-Hiles was the absolute truth in one-on-one settings in the camp. He's the only guy I knew who could, when everybody was like, oh, it favors the receiver and all this, it never favored the receiver when Brendan Radley-Hiles was there. We see right here his ability to transition and cover space. Like, it was crazy to me, right? We can see it right here. Now look at it. His ability to shadow and mirror from man up despite being 5'8", 5'9", or whatever. Now look, when you stick that foot in the ground, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, man. He has no wasted steps. Look at him. He sticks that foot in the ground, knows the proper angles. He was just extremely polished when it comes to one-on-one camp reps, right? I would liken him to like a Jamias Williams too. They were very much similar. If you guys remember Jamias Williams, shorter corners, but were absolute nightmares in a camp setting for people. Same kind of deal right here. So I think I'm going to be wary of falling in love with prospects in camp settings, because this guy looked like the absolute truth. And to me, he looked almost like a can't miss product. Like I seen and did work on him before, and I was like, man, I just don't see how this cat can't be successful. But his first year in Oklahoma showed me that it's definitely possible. I remember, this is not a highlight channel. It's a film study. Stuff will be paused and rewound ad nauseum. You know the drill. All right, so check this out. When they moved him to more of a field safety spot and having him cover the open side receiver, so he would be matched up in slot duty, I thought that actually might be pretty good for him, right? But not necessarily. One thing I showed in this particular game right here at West Virginia was his lack of top end speed. So see my man coming out right here. So same kind of deal right there. You know, his ability to flip his hips and transition, at least in a camp setting, was the best that I think I ever seen, right? So still got that in him right there, a smooth transition. But look at him pick him up and put him down. You can see the natural. Now look, this guy's just gliding by him. He's gonna look right there. They're even right now. But if he's even, he's leaving. Now check it out. You can just slowly see separation. Now that's bad. That is extremely bad right there. I don't know how you would be able to combat that from a position like that, because he's always going to encounter people in space and being able to run these type of deep routes. So if you see right there, he was just clearly beat. Now look, he's got a good couple of steps on him right there, right? One thing that you can't learn in the camp rep is how somebody breaks down and tackles in space, especially with these dumb things like cat and mouse drills and stuff where you can just touch people. I remember seeing him do this, and he was the absolute truth at it. But in reality, you have to be able to break down and tackle a big running back like this, or you're going to be able to take the proper angle. So we see this is all him right there coming in to fill, right? Coming in, run that bad boy. It's just him and the running back. This is perfect right here. So he takes an improper angle, and then when he does get there, right, he's there to make the tackle. So this is, even with the angle and the miss evaluation of the angle, he's still there to make a tackle. And what? I don't know what to tell you. But this is not something people do in the camp. So that's one thing. And obviously he played at IMG Academy, had good seasons, and he played, I believe, at Calabasas before that. But he made his name from camp settings, no doubt about that. So going against some of these teams like West Virginia, where people don't understand the type of football they play, West Virginia is a smash mouth team as well. Very much in the mold of an Oklahoma, right? So we see my man coming downhill right here. See the ball carrier right in his vision. Break down and make the tackle. This was some of the most alarming stuff though, where it makes you scared and you don't really know where to put him at. So we see him right here coming down. It should be a pretty easy tackle, right? The running back is actually being grasped right here and having to get out of someone's grasp. So you shoot inside shoulder force, make the tackle. No, I'm not sure what he's doing right here, but to be honest with you, look like he may have actually turned down the funk. You know, you don't never turn down the funk, baby. You got to turn up the funk. You got to always be seeking that contact from a safety position. So, all right. So he also spent time at a nickel position. We see him out right here, but still, when you're a nickel, you have to be able to tackle. So I used to think that Brendan Radley-Hiles was the next Tyrann Mathieu. I think that's why I liked him so much. Tyrann Mathieu is one of my all-time favorite players, and he definitely reminded me of him with his splash plays and the type of stuff that he could create in a camp setting. But we see him right here. Run starting to bounce outside, so you're almost like a last line of defense laterally. Oh, Puka Williams right there in your sight. Let's get it, right? So right now you see him up on his toes. He's just waiting. Sometimes you got to attack these guys, man, and really really dictate to the offense. But once again, you see him right here. Not good. Not good at all. Now, don't get me wrong. He had some good plays for the most part. Maybe a couple of big hits in there, but nothing really to phone home about. Most of the stuff that we saw with him, which is the reason why he got benched, was more along the lines of this. All right, we see him lined up at nickel right here. So he's in man-to-man defense. While this is an empty play, meaning he had no impact on it because the ball didn't go to him, you can kind of see his ability to still transition from a slot corner, which I think is probably maybe his best. I don't know, man. It's tough to say, but we see him right here. Get the contact in the contact zone, be able to ride it a little bit, and then transition and flip with the guy. He sticks that foot in the ground, you do it too. So right there, he's pretty physical, and he's still kind of on the receiver's hip. Maybe if the guy would have thrown it, maybe he's out of position a little bit, but he's able to kind of trail him a little bit, and maybe he can explode into making a play or something like that. But I don't know, man. You guys got to let me know. Is my man Brendan Radley-Hiles, and I don't call him Bookie and all this right there. Every time I see somebody with a name like that, I always automatically think, like, yeah, it may not turn out well for them, because this is a business, brother. Brendan Radley-Hiles is a great name. You should just go by that, right? So Brendan Radley-Hiles, let me know where you think this guy could make his best impact at, right? Is it outside corner, right? So in the camp settings, he's more of an outside corner, sticking the guys. But man, that's very tough in the Big 12. Some of these big receivers and everything like that. As an inside corner when working with guys with a two-way go, I thought he would be pretty good doing that, but it's a lot of tackling involved in there. And I don't ever want to see him at safety again. I'm sorry. As a former safety, I can't do it. Can't do it. He was horrific at safety. So, but is he salvageable? Hopefully he is, man. The kid was talented as I'll still remember all the stuff that he did in high school at these camp settings that I saw him at, and some of the ones that I just saw on YouTube or whatever. The kid was great. So I don't know. Let me know, guys. All right, let's get some dialogue going. But as always, it's your boy Murf, Top Billin Sports, and I am out. Peace.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.